And I think there's no better place to start than Clash of Creators. You're obviously fairly well known for being a co-creator of that. Do you want to just talk to us about how that kind of formed?
Yeah, so Clash of Creators started in 2020. I just left secondary school because of COVID and GCSEs didn't happen, and I felt like it was a perfect opportunity. I wasn't on Twitter or anything. I didn't really know anyone within the community before Clash. And then I got myself on Twitter and just sort of started talking to people, community. We started doing like rating YouTubers and that sort of stuff in lockdown and whatever. And yeah, I just sort of saw that the Sidemen were thinking of coming back for a charity event, and I was like, well, why don't I just tweet something out and be like, well, there's nothing for small creators. You always see the division of upload event or summer in a city where it's always big creators meeting smaller creators. But why don't you merge the two together and bring the community together? And yeah, it did really well. Got in contact with the co-founder Tom Sharman, who my friend sort of like referred me to, and from then just got chatting, and I feel like he liked my pitch towards him. Introduced myself and just went, "This is what I want to do. Here's the vision," and then we just went from there. And then from there, it just went from strength to strength. Yeah, we knew a few people beforehand in the industry. It wasn't a massive network. It was sort of the players were growing as the event was, and yeah, I couldn't have asked for a better day. I think it went
really well.
Unreal.
Yeah,
to be honest
really
with you.
Who were the content creators you had kind of at first in the first pool? Or?
Yeah, so we had I'm quite good friends with like Brandonio, who has like 400k.
Okay.
There was like a few others. I'm trying to think, like Casey Barker.
Okay.
Etc. Etc. So all of those sort of like group of people, and then obviously like you've got your Rosa Shores, your Morgses, and all of those who then joined a little bit later. But yeah, we had a few people. We actually locked in Pieface quite quickly.
Oh yeah.
We emailed him, and I think at first he was like, "Can you pay for my train?" I was like, "Absolutely." Yeah, if that means that you want to come down to our event. And it turns out like that become like a massive meme of Pieface, like Prime Yashin.
Yeah.
And I actually think the Sidemen got him in because they saw Clash of Creators.
Well, you can definitely say that at least. Yeah,
I think that was the reason why. So I hope that we've left a bit of a legacy and helped people sort of like establish some football creators within Clash of Creators.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. And we're going to touch on sort of the charity behind it and the mental health side a bit later in the podcast. But do you have a plan for the future of it? Because obviously it's sort of suspended indefinitely at the moment.
Yeah, so we're talking and stuff like that. Sort of it's been put to a pause at the moment because just life is so different, etc. But I think we are working on trying to bring it back, etc. But time will tell. It's still a conversation that I've not had with the team or whatever about whether it is definitely coming back. I personally would love for it to come back, but again, it's like working behind the scenes is so much harder than what you think. We were so close to doing another one in 2022, but just like things broke down.
Yeah.
That was out of our control. But yeah, it has been left on a little bit of a downer, which I don't want the event to be seen as because it was such a great event.
Yeah.
So hopefully, there's a bit more sort of like respect towards it and whatever, and hopefully we can see another Clash of Creators. But I don't know. Tomorrow's never. You never know what's going to happen to sports thing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So it's one of them.
If you were to do another Clash of Creators soon, would you still aim for the smaller creators?
Yeah, I would never change it. I never want to be like the Sidemen because I don't think the Clash of Creators is anything like the Sidemen. People who compare it and be like, oh, it's not as big or whatever, it's nothing like it. You were never going to see an event like Clash of Creators again, in my opinion, where you bring literally small community and big community together. And I personally think that now you can see like smaller YouTubers getting editing jobs for bigger YouTubers, etc. Because there's more trust in these smaller creators. And actually, you value them for their content rather than their subscribers now. And I feel like Clash of Creators was a big part of that.
Yeah.
So I would never change it. I mean, for me, I'm not quite on the levels of these big YouTubers like as of yet, but I hope that I'm respected enough by that community because of what we've done. So I think value and effort and talent should be a main priority more than actually just having numbers.
Yeah.
If you know what I mean.
Quality over quantity almost.
Yeah, sort of like that, yeah.
All right.
No, definitely. Another thing I was going to touch on is relating to Clash of Creators is obviously you throw names in there like Roadshaw and Pieface. Obviously, those are really big creators. Does it help that, I know you touched on it briefly there, does it help that you've got these big names that sort of bring in an audience, and then the idea is that you use these big names to shed a light on the smaller creators that are in there?
Yeah, I know, 100%. I feel like, obviously, without these big creators, there's not going to be an audience. Like, I think we had 20,000 like peak live viewers. That wouldn't have happened if it was just small creators, like, at the end of the day. I think it's not necessarily like showcasing a light on small creators, but it's also just showing them that, and if you get an opportunity, you can use it and you can go forward and you can go and smash it. We had someone called Jack Hodgson who played at Clash. He's now smashing YouTube Shorts on 50, 60,000 subscribers from whatever. Not saying that obviously Clash helped him, whatever, but so many people have been established within Clash of Creators, which is insane. I remember being on Jack Mate's happy hour, and he was saying about, you know, these big YouTubers, and he said that Just Ed, who is one of the small creators, was one of the funniest on the team, etc., and showing all of that. And if he's saying that about smaller creators, then, you know, it just shows that it doesn't matter how many subscribers you have. It's more so about who you are as a person and what you can do. And I think Just Ed is now, I don't know how many subscribers he's on, but I mean, the last thing I saw of him, he's on this morning because he put like a dating application of himself up on a billboard, and he was on this morning for it. So it's like they're all doing their own thing. So
yeah, it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I completely understand where that comes from, because people were thinking, oh, bigger, smaller creators, you know, it's all for the smaller creators. You're quite selfish, but no, it's not being selfish. It's let's just bring everyone together, have a good time.
Yeah.
And I think there was not really any problems really. Like, everyone's just got on with each other, and I think subscribers and numbers and names pushed aside for that day, and everyone just got on with each other for who they were as a person, which this industry should be a lot more about.